It's live.
It's live. We are live. Let me check on our Facebook page. Beautiful. Awesome. Well, good evening, Phoebe. How are you?
Hello, Sheb. I'm good. Thank you for inviting me on your podcast tonight.
It's a pleasure to have you here, my friend. And for those of you who've just joined us, welcome. Jump on in, share this wonderful meeting that we're about to be presenting for you. Now, I have the privilege of presenting the most wonderful and award-winning accounting, Phoebe Dray, from Phoebe Dray CPA Cashflow Pocket Rocket, who will be sharing with us her top 4 secrets on how to create your profit plan to smash 2022. I'm very excited for this one because I seriously need some help myself, Phoebe. And I know we've previously had a brief discussion about this, so I'm dying to hear all your wonderful tricks and tips and all this sort of stuff. So, how are you, by the way? How's your day?
Yeah, I'm great. We actually had family up from southern New South Wales today visiting us, which was really nice. Haven't seen them in a very long time with all the lockdowns and travel restrictions and everything like that. So it was, had a really lovely day catching up with family, which is what Sunday should be all about.
Absolutely. And what gorgeous weather we had this today, the entire weekend.
Yeah, very lucky here on the Gold Coast. I actually made it down to the Spit this morning for the sunrise, which
No,
was amazing.
saw those pictures. I saw those pictures. Now, I'm just having a look here to make sure that we are definitely on live. So just want to have a quick look on my page and make sure that we are live streaming. And it looks like we are, Phoebe. So I'm pretty
Awesome.
that's
We're
on.
live and out there in the world, Cheb.
We are. How exciting!
We're in the Facebook world. Woo!
Love it. Look, if you've just joined us, we have Phoebe Dray, who's a CPA, a cash flow pocket rocket, who in a moment will be sharing with us her 4 top secrets on how to create a profit plan to smash 2022. Award-winning accountant, passionate about helping business owners achieve success by understanding their numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Realized now this is something that you realized after many years of tax and compliance work. Tell us a little bit about your journey, Phoebe, if you can.
I'll give you the quick version, Cheb. But so I had I did a lot of traveling. I used to work in bars, hospitality, love people. And I remember when I started doing my business degree and I said to all my friends, I'm going to do accounting. They were all a bit shocked. Couldn't believe that I was going to go down the path of becoming an accountant. And so everyone was a little bit shocked that I actually wanted to become an accountant, but my dad was an accountant and he had a small public practice here on the Gold Coast. So while I was at university, I thought I don't really want to work late nights anymore. I want to go out with all my friends. I'm going to start working with my dad. So I started working in his accounting firm and I actually really enjoyed it. I was really good at marketing though. I remember I got, I think, first in my class, in the first year without hundreds of students in marketing. And I loved marketing, but there was so many people doing marketing. And I thought, the chances of me getting a job are quite low. So I ended up following the path of accounting and worked for my dad. Fast forward to when I was about 20. So this was when I was about 23 when I first started working with my father. Fast forwarded to when I was 29 years old and I actually bought into the practice at that time with my father. So we had a small public practice based on the Gold Coast. And at the same time that I bought into the practice, 2 other men also bought into the practice. And the business kind of went from being a really good little business for my father. He was getting older in life and was looking to retire in the next few years to all of a sudden being a business that was completely burdened by debt. We went from no debt whatsoever, owning our own office space, to being literally $500,000 in debt overnight. And having to deal with that as like a young female entrepreneur, not much experience in the actual business world. I'd done a business degree and I probably should have had a bit more knowledge and a bit more confidence to put my hand up and say, there's something not right with this contract. We need to look into it further. should have, could have, would have. And I think it's helped me grow and become the person I am today and become so passionate about what I do now, which is to really help business owners understand the numbers, to get confidence in their business skills and their own abilities. And with that confidence and the knowledge of their numbers, use that to actually drive their business forward. And that's what I really had to do when I found myself, drowning in debt. I had to take a step back. I had to become responsible. I had to start taking accountability for where I was at. And once I did that, I could make all the changes. I went on a massive personal development journey, completely changed my life around, became confident business person, became super clear on my numbers, became really clear on my capacity, became really clear on our budget. And basically I reduced our team by half and doubled the business profits, which enabled us to sell the business for a really good price when the time was right. And I was ready to take a bit of time out to have a family and enable my father to retire and do what he wanted to do with his retirement. And now that I've had a few years off, my little girl's now 3 years old. I just, I was getting a bit itchy feet. I wanted to get back out there into the business world. I absolutely love business. I love learning about business. It's my absolute passion. And so that's why I decided to create Phoebe Dray Cashflow Pocket Rocket. Sorry, Chip.
Love it. I love it. I, on Friday, attended the International Small Business Summit here on the Gold Coast, and one of the speakers did speak about one of the biggest reasons why people fail in business is because they are not clear on their what, on their how, on their what, why, and how.
Mm-hmm.
So these, I guess, as a business coach, as a financial coach, these are some of the things that you help your clients with.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's because I think once you kind of can understand the numbers, I liken it to flicking a light switch on in your bedroom or something. If you go into your bedroom looking, say you're looking for your glasses and you know they're there somewhere, they're on maybe your chest of drawers or something, but you're fumbling around in the dark trying to search for these glasses. But then as soon as you turn the light on, you can just see them and you can grab them and out you go. And I liken that to when you start really understanding your numbers in your business, it becomes more of a game of pulling levers and, even from how many phone calls you need to make, how many leads you need in your business to generate the income you want to earn. Because, if you get a certain amount of leads, that turns into a certain amount of clients and that can turn into a certain amount of income. Even down to, how much your staff cost you per hour and how much you can charge them out at. So seeing the profitability you can make. And I work on that. I have an electrician as a client and we did that with all of his tradies. We worked out to the dollar, including all of the different costs associated with hiring an employee, to understanding really what they cost him, but then also what he could charge them at. So the profit he was going to make. So if they were fully productive in their 40-hour week, whatever they do for him, we could really work out to the dollar what his profit should be. And when you become clear on that, then it's just a numbers game. We then worked out he had 500 hours capacity for a month. We had to work out, did he have enough work to fulfill that? So it's, to me, I get so excited about it because I can see how that, the light, just flicking that light switch on, completely turning your business around and understanding it by numbers. And then you can just, like driving your car, when you're looking at your dashboard, you can just see when different numbers aren't quite right or something's, all of a sudden the gauge is in the red and that your engine's about to blow up or something like that. It's like having a dashboard for your business so you can keep your eyes forward and you can keep an eye on those numbers, which are monitoring everything and giving you the guidance of what needs tweaking, what needs work, where you need to take some action in your business, what's humming along. And what strategies you need to put in place to grow or whatever you need to do. But having that dashboard and being really clear on those numbers and what they mean for you and your business, I think is so important. And yeah, it's just like flicking that switch on and seeing clearly all of a sudden. And I know from personal experience in my own accounting firm, when I really truly understood the numbers, how I could just totally turned it around and grew it out of sight. And it was just, to sit back and actually watch it was amazing.
Wow. And tell me something, Phoebe, and I can sense your enthusiasm and your work. So I mean, that just really, I'm just like excited. I'm like, oh wow, I want Phoebe on my team. I want Phoebe to these numbers. But what is one of the major, I guess, realization for businesses that they didn't quite see? So I guess your job, because a lot of us can be quite narrow-minded, but I guess your job will like, hang on, let's expand this, let's zoom out here. And I'm guessing this is sort of the way you work. Let's have a look on this aerial route. So in that view, what has been one of the biggest breakthroughs for your clients?
Often a big breakthrough is actually them understanding that they're the ones stopping their business from growing. Like they're actually in the business doing too much of the work. Like they're not actually taking the time to get out and do that zoom out work, and that's actually prohibiting their business from growing because they're down in the forest all amongst the trees and they can't see where they've got to go and what they've got to do next, and they're just going blind. So often when you actually sit back with them, take them out of their business and actually get them into that helicopter and zoom them up so they can see their business and actually see the numbers, that's a really big realization that they can't do everything themselves. They need to train their team effectively. They need to leverage their team effectively and really understand, as I said, the numbers of their business and what they mean and how they can use those to manage their business more effectively and actually get out of their own way.
Yeah, wow. So you have had accounting experience, obviously, bookkeeping, you've had experience in running your own business, your family business. And what makes a business successful? If you were, and it's probably, I don't know whether you can or not, if you were to sum it down in a nutshell, what makes a business successful?
It's all, once again, it's all up to the leader. It's their mindset, it's their confidence, it's the way they can lead their team, the way they support their team, the way they implement systems into the business. And it's them getting up every day and actually having the courage to keep going, to keep growing, to keep going beyond themselves, knowing where their weaknesses are and bringing in support to fill in those weaknesses. And actually, yeah, just understanding themselves and understanding how that can help them grow their business, and also but understanding where they needs the support as well to help them grow their business, because they're the leader, they're the ones driving the business, and without that strong leader in the business, I really find that that's often where the business will fall down. It's often the business will grow to the extent that the business leader is willing to grow often. And I saw that in my own business when I had the accounting firm, really just puttering along. But once I actually put the work in and grew myself, like that's really, it was understanding the numbers, yes, but it was actually growing myself, my confidence in leading the team, confidence in getting out and networking, becoming visible online, doing all the things I needed to do to actually grow that business. And that came really with confidence in myself and my own personal development and growth.
I love that. I love that. Understanding self, you said. So it's
Mm.
working with the client. So having that holistic approach, I suppose, understanding the client, where they're coming from, and thereby formulating a plan moving forward. I love that.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that business plans often something people think, oh, it's just a big document, it's all these pages that it don't mean anything, and they do this business plan once and they put it in a drawer. But what I really love is the Vern Harnish one-page business plan, and that's something that you've got. And I use that in my own business. It's something that you do, and you do it regularly. You do it every 3 months. You review it. It's on your wall, so you see it. You engage your team in it, and it becomes this working, living document of this values and your mission and what's going to keep driving you when you have those days when you don't really want to get out of bed, but it's your mission and your purpose that keeps you going. So that's another really key thing I work on with my clients, is them becoming clear on that business plan, but not that big, thick document you put in the drawer, but that one that you actually have on your wall. You have your whole team engaged, and it's what keeps you and your team going when you might have a day that's not so great. And that's really understanding yourself as well, because it's working out what your mission and your purpose is connected to your business, and then that's what will drive you and your business as well.
I love it. So they have it, everything is planned, it's all mapped out, and they've got it on the wall. So they're conditioning already, they're setting themselves up for success already just by having that on the wall, reinforcing
Yeah.
their ultimate goal. I love it. Love it. Fantastic. Now I know you have some tricks and some tips, and you've got some amazing secrets with us to share. And that is your 4 secrets on how to create our profit plan to help us smash the year 2022, which is, by the way, coming up. The new financial year is coming up very soon. So
Yes.
Tell us, give us all the juicy secrets here.
Okay, so secret one, number one, Sheb, is often when I had clients coming to me when we had the accounting firm and they were getting really excited, they're going to launch their new business and they're coming to us to help them set up and get, all their ducks in a row, the ABN, business plan, business structure, etc., tax, all that kind of stuff. And I would often say to them, what income do you need the business to earn for you? And they would often kind of shrug their shoulders and have no idea what actual income they wanted the business to earn them, so they can live the life that they want to live. And so number one is actually what I call your freedom number, understanding your freedom number and becoming really clear on that. So your freedom number has 3 different expenses, I guess, in it. So it's your personal expenses, so including your living costs, your children, food, entertainment, what you'd like to save. So you list them all out and it's done on a monthly basis. So we do the freedom number based on your monthly expenses. So yes, you first of all go through all of your personal expenses. And if you have a partner that helps contribute to the family income, then you'd only be wanting to put in there, to start with anyway, your own personal expenses or your contribution to the family, what you would like to contribute. So if you're going 50-50, you'd put in 50% of the rates, 50% of the water, electricity, children's costs, your entertainment, clothing, all those things. You list all those out, work them out. And look, it doesn't have to be to the cent, but you do need to list them out and have an understanding of what they are for a month. And also what people often forget is, like, if you're paying something, say, on a fortnightly basis, you'd times that by 26 and then divide it by 12 to get to your monthly figure. Or if you're paying it weekly, you times it by 52 and divide by 12. So just a little tip there. Then you go through all of your business expenses. And these are, when you're first starting out, you're going to be a bit leaner than you might be in coming years when the income's flowing. So you might not have, you might not factor in. So it depends on where you are in business and what you want to factor in there. But I always say that you should put some money definitely aside for marketing and advertising. You should always be doing some kind of publicity type things, and you probably have to pay for a bit of it. Initially, when you're going out in business, you probably got a lot more time on your hands, so you can probably spend a bit more time doing it. But as you grow, you definitely want to have a budget there for advertising and marketing costs, and also a virtual assistant or someone to give you a bit of a hand initially, whether it's a bookkeeper, you need to factor in accountant, insurance. If you got rental, you're renting an office space or something like that, or a warehouse or a shop, whatever it is, your telephone, internet, motor vehicle. So you want to list down all of your business expenses and go through them. If you're just starting out in business and you don't have a history, then you can just look at what you would estimate them to be. Once again, it doesn't have to be to the dollar. And then the last one that you have to include, and you do not forget it because it's so important, and this is probably one of the biggest reasons I saw my clients have a huge cash flow issue, was tax. So make sure that you include tax in that figure as well. So at least 20% tax, if not up to 30%, I would be putting down there for tax, and adding them all together and working out your freedom number. So when you get all of those added together, 20% tax is based on, so you add your personal expenses, your business expenses, and then times that by 20 or 30%, whatever tax rate you're going to use. And I do have a really good worksheet that I can share with you, Sheb, if you'd like me to share for your listeners, that you can actually go through this process yourself. And then at the end, you get your freedom number. So this number is the number that once you start reaching this in your business, you can sit back and take that big, deep breath, because all your personal expenses, your business expenses, and tax are all being covered by your business income. So it's really working. It's kind of like reverse engineering what you want your income to be by looking at all of your expenses first and then getting to your income dollar amount on a monthly basis.
Wow.
So that is secret number one. So becoming really clear on your freedom number.
Gotcha. What's number 2?
Number 2 is, once you work out your freedom number, it's actually doing the income schedule. So if you're a coach, for example, and you're offering coaching services, and you work out that your freedom number is $20,000 a month, just rounding figures, and you say, well, you've got, you look at your calendar and you say, well, I'm able to do coaching clients on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays every single week, and I do my clients fortnightly. So therefore you can have, and you can only do 2 clients a day because it burns you out, whatever it is. So you work out, well, that's 6 clients a week, so that you can do them fortnightly. So that's 12 clients that you can have in the month. And you know that your freedom number is $20,000. You've then got to work out, well, how much do you need to charge your clients monthly to reach that number? So the working then is, So you say, for example, $20,000, I'm just doing it on my phone here. So $20,000, you can fit in 12 clients. So divide by 12. So approximately you've got to charge $1,700 a month per client for you to hit your freedom number. Now you might say, well, I don't just do one-on-one coaching. I'm also doing a group program, and I've got some digital products that I sell as well. So they all factor into that as well. So it's really looking at what income you need and how you're going to achieve that income so that you can hit your freedom number on a monthly basis. So number 2 is becoming really clear on your income number, which is linked to your freedom number, and what you're going to do to enable you to hit that freedom number every single month. So looking at your products, your services, what you need to how much work you need, whatever industry you're in. Say, for example, you're an electrician and you work out you need $50,000 a month. How many clients is that? How many team members do you need to actually enable you to achieve that figure? So it's becoming really clear on how you generate your income and how you're going to be able to hit that freedom number by working through the income schedule. And once again, I've got an income schedule that I can share with you, Sheb, that people can use to actually work out what they're going to do to generate the freedom number. So number 1 is your freedom number. Number 2 is developing your income schedule to work out how you're going to be able to hit that freedom number every single month.
I love it. So the income schedule is like forecasting your upcoming or income, if you like.
Yeah, so becoming really clear on, like, for example, if you sell widgets, how many widgets do you need to sell in a month to enable you to reach your freedom number? So it's mapping that out, becoming really clear on exactly the nitty gritty numbers that you need to hit every month to enable you to reach your freedom number for sales.
I'm so glad there are people like you who do this for a living. Because for those of us who have absolutely no idea, it's just like,
yeah, and I think it's because people don't think about it as well. So it should go hand in hand with your business plan. Like sometimes you go out into business and you're just like throwing things out into the wind and just hoping they kind of fall back into your lap. But when you become really clear on the numbers, and that's why it so excites me, is for example, if you know you've got to sell a certain amount of coaching packages a month to hit your freedom number, and you know that your conversion rate is 30%. So if you had to sell 10 conversion, if you had to sell 10 packages, you'd need to have, what's that, Sheb? You do the math, 30%. Let me reverse engineer. It's probably 30, but it could be 300. 10 times 0.3. Oh, no, that's not right. Anyway, you know, if you were to sell 10, I think you'd have 300, sorry. So 300, you need to speak to 300 people. Wait, 0.3. No, 100 times by 0.3. Sorry, you need to sell, yeah, a lot of people. You need to speak. So you can, like, my maths, I know I'm an accountant. Everyone says, oh, you should know your maths, but I need to sit down and kind of figure it out. So, but basically you can kind of break it right back to your, you know, your leads, how many leads you need to enable you to hit that number, because you know what your conversion rate is. And they're the different numbers that you plug into your dashboard as well. So with your sales and marketing side of your dashboard, you know, you need X amount of leads to hit your conversion rate of X amount to get this many clients per month to enable you to hit your freedom number. So it all, you can kind of start seeing how it all flows together.
amazing. So freedom numbers, number 1. Number 2 is scheduling your income. And number 3?
So number 3 is when we start mapping it out into your profit plan. So this is when you get right into the nitty gritty and you actually map it out over 12 months and you map it into your detailed profit plan for the year. So you've got at the top of your profit plan is your income, and you map out all the different types of income you've got there and what you expect to have each month. And for example, if you're starting to talk about launching new products or services, you know, there might be a bit of a lag time. So it might not, you know, initially reflect your income schedule exactly, because it, you know, we might be doing this in July, starting in July, but you're saying, right, well, 1st of January, I'm going to launch my new program. And so you know that you've got to start putting things in plan for, you know, October, November, December to be able to launch that in January. So this is where you really start getting down to the nitty gritty, actually mapping out your 12-month profit plan for the year. So you first look at income, and then we do a deep dive into your business expenses. So if you're already running your business, this is a great time to do your business expense deep dive and make sure there's no money leaks in your business. And so this is where you go through your general ledger, and you actually, this is something I recommend my clients do on a monthly basis, if not every 3 months. So I know it's kind of a bit arduous, so people kind of leave it, but it's something that I would really recommend everyone do monthly. If not monthly, definitely do it every 3 months. And this is where you go through item by item, either on your bank statements or on your general ledger. You can ask your accountant or bookkeeper for your general ledger report, and you use 3 different colored highlighters. So you have red, orange, and green. Green, you highlight any expenses in green that you definitely need 100% in your business. You can't get it any cheaper. And if you cut out any of these expenses, basically your business would shut down. It wouldn't run anymore. So for example, if you have an office or a retail space, it's like your electricity, your rent, all these types of things that you just cannot get rid of. Your telephone. Orange is anything that, is probably nice to have. You don't necessarily have to have it. Or it could also be something that you can reduce. So it could be something that you haven't reviewed in a while, like your telephone bill or your insurance, or something else that you could possibly negotiate, maybe deal with your suppliers. You highlight them all in orange, and then everything that you do not need, that you need to get rid of, you highlight in red or pink. So you highlight all of those, and they're the things you need to cancel as ASAP. So there might be, you've got something on a contract that you can't cancel for the next 3 months, but you need to put a reminder in your calendar that you cancel that item, that expense in the next 3 months, because literally that's just money leaking out of your business that could, as soon as you cancel it, it drops to the bottom line, and it's actually cash in your business that you can use to enable you to live the life of your dreams, rather than wasting it on something in your business that you don't need, that you've just signed up to. Subscriptions is probably a big one of these, like computer subscriptions. You often like log on to the new and greatest technology and you sign up to it, and before you know it, 6 months, 12 months has gone past and you've spent $300 on some computer software that you're never using in your business. So that's a good one to kind of really review regularly, is your subscriptions.
Agreed. I got caught on that with the Apple apps.
Yeah, I've seen lots of different things. And then you map once you've gone through all of your expenses, you've done your deep dive, you'd map that out as well into your 12-month plan. And then you can see your net profit figure, cash figure at the bottom.
Wow. I love it. All right, so once we've worked out the freedom number, our monthly expenses, we then schedule our income or forecast our upcoming income. We then map it all out into a profit plan, which includes the business expenses and also identifies any money leaks. I love the idea with the highlighters. I really love that. I think that's really creative. Use the green, which are expenses that are needed. Essential, I guess your essential items. Orange to then, items that are nice to have, but maybe you could reduce it. Then you have the red highlighter, which you can cancel. So it might not be necessary to have as part of the business expense. Love it.
Perfect.
All right. And then step number 4.
So this is where the magic happens. This is where you start to live your profit plan. So this is where you reset, you review, and you realign your goals and your vision and your income. So basically this is where, so you've mapped it out into 12 months. So you've got your July, August, September, and they're all your estimates. So this is what you're predicting and what you'd like your business to be. So then you put your actual column in, and this is in a big detailed cash Excel spreadsheet. There are software packages out there that you can use to do this. I haven't gotten down that path yet. Something that I'll probably do in the near future though, but you basically have your estimate and then you have your actual column. So every single month, you should be doing your accounts and getting your accounts finalized within the first 2 weeks after the month's end, and you put in all your actual figures. And then what you do is you highlight, so in income, so where you've got your estimated and your actual. So anything estimate so when your actual is lower than your estimate, you highlight that in red. Where your estimate income is higher than your estimate, then you highlight that in green. So when income is higher, it's green because that's positive. That means it's good because you've actually done better than what you estimated you were going to do. If it's lower than your estimate, then it's red because that's when you've actually done worse or you haven't hit the targets that you set yourself. And then you do the same thing for your expenses. So but it's the opposite. So expenses, if your expense is higher than the actual estimate, then you highlight that in red because that's actually showing that you've spent too much money on something from what you predicted. But if it's lower, you highlight it in green because that's where you've actually saved yourself some money. So the opposite. And then what you do is you actually sit down and you review it. And this is a really good tool to do with someone that you trust, your coach, your mentor, your accountant, your bookkeeper, but actually going through the numbers with someone else and actually having them ask you the questions. So what worked? What, if your income, Did you hit your income goals for the month? Yes, fantastic. Keep doing what were you doing that month? Let's see if we can keep doing that. Didn't you hit the income goals for the month? Then, well, what happened? Why didn't you hit them? Did you not have enough leads? Did you not have enough prospects that you're speaking to? Did your marketing not hit the right target? Did you not get the return on investment? Where is the bottleneck in that early stages that didn't enable you to generate the income? Did you invoice, not deliver the services that you said you were going to deliver, so therefore you couldn't invoice them that month? So is there something in delivery that's causing problems? And then are customers not paying you? So are there issues with your collection processes? Are there things you need to look at there? So by really going deep diving into these numbers every single month, you can start asking yourself some really educated questions and really get to the nitty gritty of why things are working or aren't working, and keep doing everything that's working, but then looking at what you can tweak and fix to make things better for the next month. And same, you do that through the expenses. Maybe you've had a really big month on insurance, but when you actually look at it, you pay insurance once a year, but when you did your 12-month cash flow, you put it month by month. So maybe insurance is big one month, but then all the rest of the year will be low. Or maybe this you did a big marketing campaign because you had a new product, so marketing costs are much higher this month. So it's really important to be aware of where you're spending your money and what it's going to, and just understanding, was it necessarily, did you get the return on investment? Is it something that you need to keep mind of in the future? Especially if you've got team members that are using credit cards or something for themselves, and all of a sudden there's a huge increase in lunches or something like that. So maybe it's something you need to talk to your team members about. Are they doing more, marketing? So you should see results in the income figures because they're taking more people out for lunch, etc. So just by doing this is where the magic happens, because by actually reviewing everything regularly rather than waiting till the end of the year or waiting to the end of the quarter, when it's starting to get too late to actually make those tweaks, you actually can improve your business incrementally as you go along every single month. And if you did that every month for a year, the magic that would happen in your business, the amazing improvements that you would see would be huge, and you actually will start to live your profit plan. And that's what my true passion is helping people, not just, I do the profit plans with people, but actually helping them, working with them ongoing is where the magic actually happens, and tweaking it, because things change in business and you might need to reset your goals, realign things, create new products. But if you actually do that on a regular basis, you can put those plans into place and take that action you need to take.
Wow, Phoebe, and you've just got this exponential growth, right? I love that you're more than a business coach. You're a financial coach. You have solid experience in all this journey. However, I just wondered, could businesses review that profit plan at the end of the month with you as well as their accountant, or what's the preference there?
Look, it depends. Accountants, what I found when I had the public practice, and it's nothing, about accountants, but they're doing so much compliance work that they often get so bogged down just trying to keep up with compliance, the tax, the BAS, there's so many deadlines they've got to hit, that they would love to do all this kind of work. And they often say that they can and they're going to do it. But then when the reality hits, they just don't get around to it. And often also is, clients come and expect, all this other stuff, but really they're kind of paying their accountant to do their compliance. So unless they're willing to actually spend a lot more money with their accountant and have the expectation that they're going to do that with them, like you don't just go to your accountant and they're just going to do that for you. That would probably be a whole new engagement. So it would be like engaging your accountant to be a business coach for you, really. And actually you're like, when I went to university and did my CPA, management strategy and leadership was what I was passionate about, what I was good at. I actually came first in Australia. That's my award for my CPA exam for management, leadership and strategy, which was probably one of the hardest subjects, but it just was my gift. So, you've got lots of different accountants that do different things. There's some accountants out there that are absolutely passionate about tax, about BAS compliance, and they're amazing. And that's who you want to work with when it comes to doing that, because they're going to save you the money. They're going to make sure you don't make the mistakes. They're going to be proactive in making sure that if you're doing new things in your business, for example, like you're buying a premises or you're selling a premises or you're looking at selling your business or you've got investment properties, or, they can really help work with you to get the best outcome when it comes to tax and compliance. I realized that when I had the accounting firm that wasn't my passion, that my passion actually was this doing the management accounting stuff, working with clients. And that's why now I've gone off into this direction to actually do this rather than the tax and BAS, because I can do that. I know I can definitely do that. I can grow that kind of a firm, but it's not where my passion is. It's not what I want to do. And I know that if I got bogged down in doing that, then I wouldn't be able to really follow my passion. So, you know, accounting firms do have, I'm sure, some of these services, and they can work with their accountants through it. But I specialize in it. This is what I do. It's my absolute passion. And so if someone works with me, then this is what we focus on and what we work together with. And I've actually put together a program for female entrepreneurs in particular, a 12-month online coaching program, which is called Profit to Cash. And that is all around like doing this with them, and actually not just the profit plan, but actual business strategy. Every month will be a different topic to help them get the confidence they need to grow and build a successful business.
I love it. I love it. And if there are people out there who want to learn more about you and find out more information about Profit to Cash program, where can we direct them, Phoebe?
Well, there's this Friday, actually, the 18th of June, I am doing my next live and in-person workshop. It's going to be held at the Cohort Innovation Hub, I think it's called, a Cohort Innovation Space. It's at the Commonwealth Games Precinct here on the Gold Coast, Smith Collective. It's from 9 to 1 p.m. I've only got 3 tickets left, and I'm going to be doing an in-depth profit planning process that I've done today, but much more in depth. We're going to go right into detail. We're going to be doing specifically, I've got worksheets and work activities to do that's specific for their business. You can ask questions, and it's a really safe space and community. I know a lot of feedback I get from clients is that they always feel confident and comfortable in asking me the questions that they are too scared to often ask their accountant or someone else. And I create that safe space where it really is okay to ask any question, because I've been there. I know what it's like. And I know that sometimes just having that in business, having that other person you can ask a question to that you might feel is silly, actually gives you that confidence and courage. And I haven't quite got my Profit to Cash program Launchpad on my website yet, but if someone would like to book in for a free 15-minute no obligation strategy call with me, they can go to my website phoebedray.com and click the link to book in my 15-minute strategy call, or they can find me on Facebook. Just send me a private message and I can send them the link via that if they'd like to book in a free 15-minute call to talk about anything with their business, whether it's the profit plan, profitability, whether they want to talk about the Launchpad program, or my 4-month Strength in Numbers one-on-one coaching program.
Beautiful. And Phoebe, what we'll do at the end of this recording is we'll just add those links into the comments in Facebook, if that's okay with you, so we can direct them straight to the link.
Thank you, Sher. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. All right. So any other tips or tricks you'd like to share with us before we jump on to the fun questions? Not that it's fun, but this is...
Oh, what tips and tricks? Well, it is nearly the end of the financial year. So tip and trick is don't leave your tax and your BAS and your paperwork till March, April, May next year. Get it done. Find out what your tax position is. And a big tip that I love to share with people is, yes, you don't want to pay any more tax than you have to, but if you are paying tax in your business, it means you have a successful business. You've made a profit and you've made money. So you should be really proud of yourself. Give you a pat on the back. You're paying tax. It means your business has been successful. You've made a profit. And we live in such a beautiful country. We live in such a beautiful part of the world. We get to enjoy beautiful parks, beaches, hospital facilities, so much. So I know no one likes paying tax. I used to get it all the time when I had the accounting firm, but just be grateful. When you pay your tax, be grateful, number one, to yourself that you've created a successful business and you've actually made a profit, and be grateful to this amazing country that we live in and the facilities we get to enjoy. And our tax dollars is basically what helps us, enable us to live in this amazing country. The parks that you get to enjoy with your children, the beautiful clean beaches, the national parks that you get to go camping in, the hospitals. I know it's quite controversial, but I love paying tax, and I love the fact that I live in a beautiful country, and it means that I've created a great income for myself and my family, and I'm giving back to this amazing country as well.
Absolutely. Contributing to our society. What a great reward for that would be. Phoebe, I have a question for you, just a random question.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm good. Better take a drink of water.
I'd love to ask you what you like doing in your spare time.
Ooh, I'm actually really boring. I sit on my computer most nights. I love business so much that I can just be a workaholic, to be honest. My husband's often got to drag me away to actually do something, but I do go to Toastmasters. Sheb and I are both Toastmasters. I love going to Toastmasters. So I do that fortnightly here up in Labrador. So I enjoy going to Toastmasters. I've got a 3-year-old little girl, so I spend a lot of time with her when I'm not working, and we just go to the park and have fun and dance and be silly. So I love doing that, and just with friends and family. I guess I stay healthy by going to the gym. So I enjoy going to boot camp classes and spin and all that kind of stuff at the gym and doing some yoga. So I guess that's what I do. And personal development. I love doing personal development.
A bit like table topics. Okay, what is or who is your inspiration?
Well, in the last year and a half, I guess it was, I've discovered Mike McCallick's. If you haven't heard of him, I highly recommend. If you're into business and you like reading business books, all of his books are on audible.com. He reads them. He's really interesting, funny guy, and he's got amazing books to help small business owners achieve success. And yeah, there's, I think, Run Your Business Like Clockwork, Fix This Next, Profit First. And I guess, I haven't met him in person and I haven't yet done his course, but that's what I want to do next. And he probably is my true inspiration and business mentor, and who I really look up to and just love everything he does. So I highly recommend. There's the Gold Coast. If you live on the Gold Coast, if you're watching on the Gold Coast, you can actually borrow books, Audible books from the Gold Coast Library for free for 2 weeks. So you can just listen to them. All his books are on the library Audible app. I don't know what it's called, but it's for free. So yeah. He's probably my inspiration.
I love it. I love it. What would you like remembered about you?
Oh, good question, Jeb. That I was a fun, happy, vibrant accountant, and that I helped to create success in my clients' businesses by working with them closely and helping them to understand their numbers. And that I was a fantastic mother to Georgia, that I inspired her to do, be, and have more in her life, and that she could achieve anything she wanted. And that I was just a caring, supportive wife and family member and friend, I guess.
Beautiful. And what is one message you would give to the world?
One message I'd give to the world is work on yourself every single day. Have something that you do every single day to make yourself a better person, whether it's spending 5 minutes in the shower longer, listening to your affirmations, doing some meditation, yoga, reading a book, getting out on the grass and walking barefoot. Just something every single day. Just give back to yourself, because you're the most important person. And if you don't look after yourself, then you can't look after anyone else.
Totally agreed. Now, here's a weird question. What's the weirdest question you've been asked?
Good question, Chef. What came to mind was, before I met my husband, Dan, I was probably in my mid-30s. I'd been single for a little while, and I was on some of the dating apps. I didn't really like them, to be honest, but I had gone back onto, I don't think Tinder was even around when that was happening. So it must have been, I don't know which one. So one of the dating apps, and this guy was meeting me for a date, and he met me, I lived in an apartment building, so he met downstairs at the bottom of my apartment. And it wasn't really a question, but it was basically like, what would you like to do? Just letting you know, though, I don't go to a bar and I don't go to a coffee shop. So what else can we do? And I was just like, and I was in my, high heels, and I lived in Main Beach at the time. And we literally walked from Main Beach to Surface and back on a date with this guy. And I guess it wasn't really a weird question, but I guess it was a weird date, and just, yeah. And at the end of it, he said to me, I guess we're not going to see each other again, are we? And I was like, maybe not.
I love it. Phoebe, look, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you sharing all those secret, juicy information with us. 18th of June, guys, we'll pop the link in the comments. So please feel free to reach out to Phoebe if you have any further questions.
Only 3 spots left, so get in quick.
Exactly right. So getting quick, you don't want to miss out on this opportunity, especially given that we are almost at the end of this financial year and about to start our brand new financial year very soon. So you don't want to miss out on all the beautiful secret tips that Phoebe has so kindly sharing with us. So please feel free to reach out if you have any further questions. Phoebe, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Sheb, so much for inviting me on here tonight. I've really enjoyed getting on here and doing the live with you.
Yay. All right, I'm going to stop record.
I think we're still on Facebook.
And let me see if we'll stop